Let's talk some awards. So I'm going to break down all of the award winners for the 2023 NFL season, predicting, by the way, the award winners. Everything from Rookie of the Year to MVP. So I'm going to break it all down for you guys. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Forstall back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL here to talk about my award predictions for the 2023 NFL season. If you are a NFL fan, which I assume that is the case, and since you're watching the video, hit that subscribe button down below. Promise you won't regret it. A ton of NFL content on the channel as well as other stuff. So with that being said, let's just hop right into it, people. All right, so we're going to start with the most confident picks that I have and move all the way to the least confidence. But also, I'm also saving the MVP for the very end. So stick around to the very end for the MVP pick. All right, we'll start with my most confident pick, which is Offensive Rookie of the Year. I have this award going to Bijan Robinson, running back for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, look, there's a lot of quarterbacks here that could contend for this award. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. But ultimately, I don't believe any of them will put up enough numbers or good enough numbers. And more importantly, I feel like the teams won't be as good either. Now, for Rookie of the Year, your team doesn't have to be good. It's more about the stats and the numbers. But I feel like with Bijan, you'll get kind of a little bit of both. I think the Falcons could contend for the division. Again, it's a weak division, and Bijan's going to put up some monster numbers. So I believe Bijan Robinson could easily get 1,000 rushing yards. We're talking about maybe, 5 to 10 rushing TDs, if not more. Like, I just feel like he's going to be, very solid. And he doesn't even need to put up, gargantuan numbers to win this award. He just has to put up very solid numbers, which is what I believe he will do in an offense that is going to run the heck out of the football on a team that could contend for the division title. Because again, we're talking about a team that has to compete with the Panthers and the Bucks and the Saints. So to me, it's Bijan Robinson winning this award, and I feel pretty confident about that. All right, let's move on to my second award winner. That is Coach of the Year, and I believe this will be won by Dan Campbell. Now, he is the favorite to win this award, so I'm not going out on a limb with this, but it's still plus 1,000 odds. It's not like a minus, 120 or something like that. Now, the reason I feel pretty confident about this one is I have the Lions winning the division, all right? And sometimes with awards, a lot of it is narratives, okay? Even if it's not that impressive that, hey, the guy who is going to win Coach of the Year is the guy whose team is projected to win the division, duh, you did what you were supposed to do. But we have to put history into play here because the Lions have not, I'm sorry to hear this, Lions fans, but you guys know this very, very well. They have not won the division since 1993. It's been a very long time, 30 years plus, waiting for the Lions to win the division. All right. And so to have them win it, even though they are projected to and expected to, is still going to be very monumental. And just based off of that, I believe Dan Campbell will get the award. And so I have him winning Coach of the Year. There's other guys here maybe that can make some noise. Sean Payton, perhaps. But I'm going to go with Dan Campbell. All right, let's move on to number 3. And it's another narrative award, and that is Comeback Player of the Year. Believe it or not, this is, by the betting odds, a complete runaway. His odds to win this award, who I'm about to name to you guys, are so much worse than anybody else's because they just think, hey, he's going to win it, nobody else. And that is Damar Hamlin for the Buffalo Bills. We all know what Damar Hamlin went through last season, and it's great to see that he is back and, playing football again or going to be playing football again. And so this is just more of a narrative thing here. I don't even think Damar Hamlin has to do much. He just has to go out there and not get hurt again and be semi-productive, and I think he runs away with this. And so I don't really think I have much of a pick here because I don't think you can pick anyone besides Damar Hamlin. Now, if you asked me to give you a non-Damar Hamlin pick here, I'd probably go with a Russell Wilson, who obviously had an atrocious year last year, and I think he's going to bounce back with Sean Payton. And I just think the Broncos will be better, and how can you be worse than what you were last year? And another name I could toss out there that I like is OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., who got a fat contract with the Ravens, and I think he's going to, quote-unquote, ball out. Again, doesn't have to put up massive numbers, but I think you can see flashes of the old OBJ. So to me, those are the non-Damar Hamlin picks, but I think he's going to win the award, and that is Damar Hamlin. So that is my Comeback Player of the Year. Let's move on to number 4, my Offensive Player of the Year award. Now, this is the non-quarterback player, right? They give the MVP award to a quarterback every year. but the OPOY, Offensive Player of the Year, it's usually a non-quarterback. And so to me this year, I feel pretty strong about this guy, man. I think it is going to be Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. Now, Nick Chubb, why do I like him? Number one, he's got the backfield all to himself. No more Kareem Hunt here to steal carries. And so it's going to be Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb in terms of the dose that the Browns are going to give him and all of the carries he's going to get. So I believe Nick Chubb wins this award by two ways. One, he is going to lead the league in rushing yards, which he is very capable of. And number two, he is going to lead the league in rushing touchdowns. Nick Chubb, folks, is to me the best pure runner in football. That does not mean he's the best running back. It just means he's the best pure runner in football. And so to me, he is going to be the entirety of the Cleveland Browns offense. I believe they're not going to want Deshaun Watson to throw the ball much. It is going to be running the football with Nick Chubb, letting Deshaun take his shots, not make any mistakes, and kind of go from there. So to me, I think that is going to be 1,500 plus rushing yards for Nick Chubb, if not more. And we're talking 15 plus rushing touchdowns for Nick Chubb. I believe he is going to be set up for a monster season. And I might be a little biased here because I have him a lot in my fantasy leagues and I drafted him for that very reason. I believe Nick Chubb is going to absolutely explode this year. He is my Offensive Player of the Year. All right, let's move on to my next pick. I've got Defensive Rookie of the Year. Not too confident about this one, but I'm going with Jalen Carter, rookie defensive lineman for the Philadelphia Eagles. I just feel like Carter's just going to put up a lot of numbers because he's not going to get as much attention, not going to get doubled or anything like that. So he'll be able to rack up some big sack numbers, and I think that's why he'll probably get the award. Again, I really didn't feel too comfortable with the other guys on this list. So again, this is where I'm not confident about it, and I don't have a strong take, but I'm rolling with Jalen Carter, okay? And next up, we've got Defensive Player of the Year. And for this one, I'm going with Micah Parsons. He is the favorite per the betting odds. So again, not going on a limb here, but look, Nick Bosa won it last year. TJ Watt won it the year before. I didn't want to go with them again. I just feel like it's Micah Parsons' time, right? He's had 13 plus sacks in his first 2 years. I think with Dallas, the defense is going to be elite again. And I just feel like Micah Parsons already is a household name. And I think now if he just matches that or beats it a little bit in terms of the sack numbers, I think he's going to get the award. Yeah, there's definitely other guys out there, Myles Garrett, if you will, like I said, with TJ Watt, maybe even like I said, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa. But to me, I think Micah Parsons gets this just because of the hype behind him right now. And so he's my pick to win Defensive Player of the Year. And finally, here we go, my MVP. So I thought long and hard about this. Now, let me preface my comments by saying my Super Bowl winner for this year, if you guys have not seen my picks, are the Los Angeles Chargers. And I have them beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game and then beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. I will tell you this much. I have picked the Chargers before. This might be my last year picking the Chargers if they don't win this year. So you could easily see why I might have Justin Herbert winning the MVP award this year, right? If I have the Chargers winning the Super Bowl, hey, maybe they win the division. Maybe Justin Herbert, goes off with new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who's going to improve the vertical passing game. And you've got all these weapons now with Quentin Johnson, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and on, Austin Eckler. All of those things would make you think, hey, he's probably going to go Justin Herbert. And I almost did. But I am not going to go all in on the Chargers just based off the fact that, again, I don't know if that's a smart thing to do. I'm kind of hedging my bets here. But to me, I'm just going to go with kind of another boring answer here, and that's Patrick Mahomes. Now, hear me out. There's a reason for it, okay? Besides the fact that he's the best quarterback in the world. For Patrick Mahomes this year, we just actually got word that Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee. We don't know if he's going to miss time. He could. But could you imagine this? All right, just work with me here. The narrative with Patrick Mahomes is if he has the Chiefs to a winning season where they win 12, 13, 14 games, he has to carry the Chiefs with potentially no Travis Kelce. We don't know for how long. And also Chris Jones is going to hold out until like week 8. So 2 of your best players, non-Patrick Mahomes' best players offensively and defensively, are gone. That puts all of the weight of the Chiefs' world on Patrick Mahomes' shoulders. And what if he goes out there and puts up 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns again? Throw into guys like Darius Toney, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Rashee Rice. Like, what happens then? You got to give him the award, right? To be able to do that with that weaponry. Again, I'm not thinking Kelsey's going to be out the entire year. That's not going to happen. I think it'll be a few games. But my point is, there is a level of adversity he's going to deal with. And if Patrick Mahomes rises up to that challenge and just, the Chiefs have a fantastic record, win the division, he puts up monster numbers, I can see him going back-to-back here. So I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP. If you want a sexier pick for the award, I have one for you, Trevor Lawrence. All right, I think he's like plus 1,800. I like his odds a lot because we're talking about a weak division. He can put up monster numbers. He's got his elite number one receiver in Calvin Ridley. So now you're talking about, hey, 4,500 passing yards, maybe even 5,000, and 35 touchdowns. Like, it's possible. But to me, ultimately, if you want my answer, it's Patty Mahomes as my MVP. Could have gone Justin Herbert, could have gone Trevor Lawrence, but I'm sticking with Patrick Mahomes. So it might be a little boring, but that's what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Who are your award winners? Leave them all down below. I want to hear about it, as always.